Hi there friends, it's been a while, but I am back. We are back with a bomb. What we're doing today is gossiping. I spent hours of my weekend researching on Reddit, researching on F1 Wax Snark to answer the good old question, who are the wags of F1? Because let's keep it real, the bigger the fandom is, the more people are there asking the juicy questions. As people, we're interested in people. We want to know what's going on. Is it relevant to the sport? No way, shape or form, it's not. Is it entertaining? Yes. Do I love the juice? Yes. Do I love the gossip? Yes. Do you love the gossip? Also yes, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So, let's get it started. Woo. Anyway, of course, if we're gonna be talking about wags, and I don't think we really need to say what wags are, but regardless, wives and girlfriends of athletes. And yes, it is a term that used to be very sexist. It was basically coined by the British press to talk about the private relationships of their footballers, soccer people, whatever. We're not interested in them. Back in the day, the term wag was used to diminish these women. They were just the wife, just the girlfriend of these famous athletes, and they were accused of ending their careers, distracting them. If they didn't properly kick the ball, it was the wag's fault. As per usual. So yeah, it's a term very early 2000s, and it's definitely kind of like died in use ever since then. But we've seen a resurgence. If you just search wag on YouTube, you're probably gonna see a bunch of videos about wag culture and how it came back. And some people talk about Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, yada yada yada. We don't care. We don't care about that people right now. The wags we're discussing today are the F1 wags. And honestly, it would be more accurate to just call them gags, or gas, or ags, or geese, because there's like a singular wife, but I don't make the rules, so wags. We have to start with the wag of all the wags, the G of all the G's, Alexandra Saint Leu. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce these surnames, I am sorry. I think the way we're gonna do this is I'm gonna give you a little bit of trivia, basic information about them, and then we're gonna get into the tea. Then we're gonna get into the juice, if there is to be any tea or juice about the person in question. Anyway. So, Alexandra is 22 years old, she was born in 2002, and she's Mexican, Argentinian, French, born in Mexico and then raised in France. She actually grew up in a very northern area of France that is bordering Monaco, and that's why she studied in the same high school as Charles. There you go, the connection, even though the connection gets juicier, but we will get into that a little bit later. Everyone's in this girl's business. They want to know who she is, what she's all about, and I have that intel. There used to be some rumors that she was related to a previous Monegasque prime minister. Turned out it was not true. It was definitely debunked, so no use in that regard. I've seen a lot of strange conversations about whether she comes from a very wealthy family or she just started joining that kind of circles in order to social climb, which I think is kind of a weird thing to speculate on, but to each their own. Anyway, what we do know is that she recently graduated with a degree in History of Art from a very prestigious arts and humanities school in France. So basically, she was an art student until 2 days ago. For what I could gather, she's been working as art assistant at different auction houses, apparently very prestigious auction houses. And other than that, now she's kind of getting into being a content creator, and she's even had a partnership with Rode, which I think it's very on brand. Interestingly, when she first started dating Charles, she was very private. Her Instagram account was private and she posted mostly about art in public. But at some point she decided to just kind of like open it up, and now she's kind of like considered a content creator / influencer / it girl. So she's making coin out of this situation, and good for her, why not? Regarding her romance with Charles, they were first linked in 2023 because she was seen in the background of a TikTok that Charles filmed for Paris Fashion Week, if I'm not mistaken. Later on that summer, she was seen in a double date with Charles and Pierre and Kika, and that was kind of like their first public appearance, or their first official appearance as a couple, confirming the rumors. Other than that, there's not a lot of information about her. Like, people love her style, people love her makeup. I mean, she's beautiful. She has this halo effect around her, so even if she wore a sack of potatoes, everyone would be in her business. Everyone would be up her crack, because let's be honest, she is absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, there's not much else about their relationship. They have a little furry baby called Leo that I'm so jealous about. That's literally my dream dog and I want to steal him. So yeah, they got taste. However, I promised T and T I bring that it's not really about her. It's mostly on Charles. And there's a lot of speculation about whether Charles cheated or did not cheat on his ex. And he's also being labeled a homie hopper. Why? Because even though they did go to high school in the same place, there's a big enough age gap to assume they probably didn't know each other at all back then. However, Alexandra is very close friends with the sister of Charles' ex-girlfriend, Charlotte. So imagine you're dating a dude and then he starts dating someone he met through you, and that someone is your youngest sister's friend. It's kind of scummy if it is true, but we're not here to judge. We're actually low-key here to judge. We are just gathering information. Believe or not believe, do whatever you please with it. I just present it to D. Anyway, we're gonna move on because we have a lot of people to go through. So the next person we're gonna talk about is Kika, Pierre's girlfriend. We all know Pierre and Charles are quite close friends, so Kika and Alexandra are also seen together quite often. It just makes sense to make this connection. Kika is also 22 years old, born in 2003, and she is a model, specifically a swimsuit model, and a content creator from Portugal that now lives in Paris. Something that I absolutely did not know before I did this research is that Kika is a Nepo baby. Straight up, her mom is a famous TV personality in Portugal called Maria Cerqueira Gomes, and her dad, that's where this gets interesting, her dad is a driver for pure McLaren drive team, Gonçalo Gomes. So her dad is obviously not an F1 driver, but he's still in the racing world, which I find very interesting. I think that might have been a connection between her and Pierre, but there's like nothing about it online that I could find. Other than that, she's very active in social media, so she's definitely an influencer slash content creator as well. No surprise there. For what I could gather, she started modeling as a teenager and she's been doing it ever since, and it's going pretty good. Anyway, and now the Jews. They were first linked together in the summer of 2022 when they were seen dancing together at a club in Oporto, Portugal. And it was not until October that same year that they made their first public appearance together as a couple in France for a football match. Now, there's some people that are not big fans of the fact that Kika was only 19 when they started dating, while Pierre was already somewhere in his mid-20s, which is not a crazy age gap, but still it's kind of icky. But I don't know, I'm not gonna be the one to judge. I'm presenting the facts. You decide how you feel about them. They also have an adorable puppy called Simba, and there's not much else to say. They do post a lot of pictures and videos together, and they seem to be very happy, so I don't know. The one T that seems to be related to Kika specifically is related to Lando's alleged ex-girlfriend, Maggie Corseiro, which is the perfect opportunity to kind of go into that. Maggie Corseiro is a 22-year-old born in 2002 Portuguese model and actress. She's very active on social media, she's been on TV, she's been on... I don't know if she's been on movies, actually. I know that she and Kika have done some swimsuit modeling together, but I think she's kind of developed more into the acting path. I think she's more of an actress now, or, she still does both, but she's kind of been able to branch into acting more successfully, let's just say that. But anyway, she is not really a wag, and she was never officially a wag, and we're gonna discuss why right now. For what I gathered, it was quite messy. Maggie and Lando were first linked in the summer of 2023, and there's many questions about whether this overlapped with her previous relationship with a very famous Portuguese footballer called João Felix. So either while she was dating this man or very shortly after, her and Lando started seeing each other. And it lasted for about a year, all the way to summer 2024, allegedly, because they never confirmed their relationship. However, they were seen together in multiple occasions all the way to December 2024, where she was singing Abu Dhabi for the season finale of the F1 season. Not only was she seen back then being hosted by McLaren on the garage, but she was in Drive to Survive. she was shown on camera with Lando's family greeting him after he finished the race. However, they didn't really interact with each other, or they didn't show it on camera. Now, even though none of them really confirmed that they were dating, therefore we could assume that maybe they were just seeing each other very casually. In Drive to Survive, then again, when Lando was filming on his flat, he was seen moving a few things and saying, "Oh, I better get this out of the way, these are from my ex-girlfriend." Which is an interesting way to confirm that they were actually in a relationship and not only casually seeing each other. The amount of drama involving this woman is quite insane, and it could probably take an entire video by itself, which I'm not gonna do because I don't have the time or energy for that. But we're gonna get a little bit into it. If you, like me, are a very annoying, noisy person, you've probably been to her Instagram and thought, wow, she's breathtaking, and then went to her comments and saw that they were full of hate comments. She just gets them from everywhere. It's like they keep raining on her from every single angle. Because on the one hand, I keep seeing a lot of comments from footballer fans of her ex-boyfriend. They're accusing her of being a cheater, accusing her of being a gold digger that's constantly going after athletes, commenting on Lando's post, being like, stay away from her, she's gonna ruin your career. There's probably people that have said that Lando lost the world championship because of the Maggie drama, which is an insane thing to say. And then on the other hand, she gets a lot of hate, obviously, from Lando's fans that are very parasocial, and it's giving misogyny and it's giving weird. He's not gonna date you. You don't know him and you don't know her. So there's no good reason to go into this woman's comments and be annoying when you don't know her. Like, mind your business. Say I while I'm making a little bit of a gossip video or a drama video. This is pop culture. This is a pop culture moment, okay? And then finally onto the Kika drama. This is not only a Maggie Kika drama, this is a Maggie Kika and Luisinha drama. You may wonder, who is Luisinha? Luisinha is Lando's ex-girlfriend, official ex-girlfriend. They were openly dating, they posted on Instagram together, they were a thing for a while, not very long that I can tell. The tea says that Maggie was seen having a fight, not a physical fight, but kind of like verbal altercation with Luisinha in public at some point, and this caused Kika to take a step back from Maggie and unfollow her on Instagram and everything. Yeah. The thing is that obviously there's been quite a lot of speculation about what could this potentially be about. Probably about Lando in some capacity. I really wish we could know, because drama is very nice when you're not involved. Just hearing about it fuels my soul. But yeah, the fact that Kika took a step back and unfollowed her, I was gonna say it's quite a big deal, which is like, it's really not. In this context, in this moment we're sharing, it is a big deal. Why? Because Kika and Maggie not only did work together, but they were friends. I'm not sure, I think they were in the same friend group and they worked together, partied together, traveled together, and I think they even have a friendship tattoo. So that's not just the casual girly, that's like your pal. Anyways, point is, I think what was happening at the time after this public altercation started to be talked about online and on the media, I'm pretty sure Maggie was low-key being accused of like stealing Luisinha's boyfriend, even though they have been broken up for a while, I think. And also, they weren't really friends. So Maggie felt like she needed to set the record straight, and she went to an interview and was like, I don't know the girl. If I ever saw her on the street, I wouldn't know a thing. Like, we knew of each other, but we were not friends. And that's kind of the end of it. I know some people think that Lando and Maggie are still secretly together. Some people think they were never really together. You know, there's this clip of Lando saying that he has multiple girlfriends, so yikes, I believe him. But anyway, enough of all this drama. Let's do a little flash round with all the rookies, because there's not a lot of information about them, but some of them are quite interesting. I want to start with Ellie. I have found her full name, but quite complicated. Ellie is Kimi Antonelli's girlfriend, and she's from Czech Republic, not Portuguese as most of the other wags or girlfriends are. And here is where it gets interesting. She's a race driver herself, and that's probably how her and Kimi met. For what I could gather, she's been competing in karting all the way from 2014 to 2024, and she's been in karting competitions all over Europe. And for what I could see, she's a pretty freaking good driver, becoming the first woman ever to win the Italian karting competition. So very cool. Obviously right now there's not a lot of opportunities for women to professionally become karting or F1 drivers, so she is in uni studying, I think, engineering, or people speculate engineering, which would make sense if she's a driver. And other than that, very recently, actually, about 6 months ago, she opened a YouTube channel called Welcome to the Sisterhood, where she uploads videos with her friends, and sometimes Kimi appears in them, and they are very, very cute, and that's all I know. I don't think there's a lot of information about how long they've been together, and everything is quite private. So, moving on. Isabella Bernardini is Gabriel Bortoleto's girlfriend. She's 21 years old, born in 2002, and there's very, very little that's known of her. She's Brazilian. Apparently, she's studying computer science in the Netherlands, and her and Gabriel have been dating for about 4 years. That's it, that's all the intel. Someone we know even less about is Ebony Sipora, Jack Doohan's girlfriend. We know that she's Australian, like Jack, and she lives in Monaco, like Jack, and they have been dating for about 4 to 5 years reportedly, and that's it. Jack is like very, very private about it. Like, they are seen together at events. It's not a secret relationship, but they are not posting about each other and their private personal lives on Instagram. Moving on, we have Liam Lawson's girlfriend, Hannah St. John. There is a little bit more information about her than most of the other rookie girlfriends. However, it's not very good. She was born in 2003. She's about 22 years old. She's American. I saw that she recently graduated college majoring in biological and biomedical science. Other than that, she's a content creator. I don't know if she's actually like professionally a content creator, but she does post on TikTok and Instagram, especially about her life with Liam. There's not a lot of information about them as a couple other than the fact that they've been dating since 2022. However, the point of contention with this woman is that she is a biomed student and openly an anti-vaxxer, which is not very medical. I haven't confirmed this information myself, but for what I've seen online, she has publicly said that she's an anti-vaxxer, that she will not get vaccinated. And yeah, people did not like that. There seems to be a lot about her political opinions, who she may or may not have voted for in the past elections, that are quite controversial. But we're gonna move on to Oliver Vermans, which is not a wag, but an ex-wag. So if this girl and Ollie stopped dating before he became an F1 driver, is she even an ex-wag? She's single-handedly the most controversial figure in the rookie wag category. Her name's Estelle. Her surname has been potentially changed multiple times, allegedly. And she is a model, a content creator, and a law student from England. Now, you may have noticed I did not open with her age. The entire drama about this woman is her age. Very mysterious, very Beyonce of her. In theory, according to herself, she will be turning 22 in the year of our Lord 2025. However, people seem to have found hard proof that she's actually turning 26. And allegedly, she has been lying about her age online and potentially to Ollie and Franco Colapinto, who used to date her allegedly before she moved on to Ollie. If that were to be true, she would have been 24 at the time while Franco was 17, and she would have been 25 when she started dating Ollie, who was freshly turned 18. I have personally seen some of the videos and screenshots people use to prove that she's lying about her age, but I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what it's supposed to be, other than the fact that it says that she was born in 1999, which would make her 26 this year. Stell has come online multiple times because people do continuously keep commenting on her posts about this and making TikToks, making posts, speculating about her age. She's denied it again and again and again very publicly, and even Ollie's sister, I think, has denied it. Which has not deterred people. It's fueled their rage even more, making them think that she's been lying to everyone, including Ollie and his family. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense or not, but that is the tea. Then, allegedly, once again, apparently, Estelle has claimed online that the reason why she and Ollie broke up is that he cheated on her. I don't know if she's literally straight up come up and said that, but People think she's been dropping clues on TikTok. Some other people think that they are actually still seeing each other for stuff they have gathered from their Instagram stories. I don't know. I am not online enough to confirm or deny any of these claims, but this is what I've gathered. Moving on from the rookies to the one and only wag of the wags, the only wife, who is Nico Hulkenberg's wife, Egel or Eagle? Egli? I am not gonna pretend that I know how that's pronounced. I know that she's from Lithuania and she looks very freaking cool. She looks like the coolest person, to be very frank with you. So she's a businesswoman. She started her own crochet beachwear brand, which she constantly promotes on her Instagram, and she seems to be thriving. She has a very different energy than the other girls. I mean, obviously she's older and she is married and they do have a daughter all the way since 2021, but she has just like this vibe that it's like free and bright and optimistic and like not really caring what others think. Like she just doesn't seem to be constantly on post. She's just kind of like vibing and having a good time. It was really refreshing seeing her pictures and her pictures with Nico. They just seem like a normal couple. I don't know, I really liked her. I like them together, they're cute. Other than the fact that they have a daughter since 2021, I know they've been together since 2015, so it's been 10 years, which is very cute. And they have a Pomeranian, if I'm not mistaken. And that's it. That's like all the information we have on her. I love you, girly. Your clothes are super cute. From this little beacon of light and love and optimism, we are gonna move to the most controversial wag ever. More controversial than the girl that lies about her age. More controversial than the girl that's openly an anti-vaxxer despite the fact that she's in medicine. Kelly Piquet, Max Verstappen's girlfriend and mother of his future first child. Kelly Piquet is 36-year-old, born in 1988, and she's Brazilian and Dutch, and she's very deeply connected to F1. I don't think it's no surprise to anyone that she's the daughter of Nelson Piquet, 3 times F1 world champion, and she even has a brother that used to participate in F1, and she herself has worked as an F1 journalist. So it's definitely something that's been in her family, like that's her home ground, you know? And other than that, she used to date previous F1 Red Bull driver Daniil Kvyat, with whom she has a daughter called Penelope. From that relationship comes the drama that Max Verstappen will take your seat, and he will take your girl, and he will take your daughter, and he will run to the finish line. So that's on one side. Then on the other side, there is a lot of speculation about their age gap. How old were they when they first met? Yada, yada, yada. I have found the facts according to the internet. Allegedly, they first met in 2016 when Max would have been 19 years old, and then they went on to start dating sometime in 2020 because they became Instagram official 1st of January of 2021. Realistically, they don't really have an age gap that's that significantly different from Pierre and Kika's, and they don't get nowhere near the same amount of slack. I'm not gonna defend anyone or judge their decisions, but there is a lot of speculation. And even Kelly and Max themselves have come out to say, please stop making up things about our relationship. She's been called a groomer, which wouldn't really make much sense if they did meet when he was 19. She's been called a bad mom. She's been called a bad girlfriend. She's been accused of looking bored when she's with Max. She's been accused of always being on her phone and never working. And what does she do? And it all seems to be reeking of misogyny, as per usual. You don't know this woman and you can't really judge her based on the fact that she was on the back of a video on her phone. Or saying she looked bored. The amount of people that looked bored at all times, it is kind of crazy. And then there's the thing that they are together no matter what. They've been together for a while and they are now expecting a child, so they will continue to be together no matter how angry people on the internet get about it. Regarding marriage, they are indeed not married, even though they are expecting a child. And when Max was asked about whether they would get married or not, what he said was, I don't know. He basically said, and I quote, "Mary, now you have publicly pressured me to give a date. I don't know, time will tell. At the very moment, I'm very happy with Kelly, but personally, I don't have a timetable for when I will get on my knees in front of her. This should all happen spontaneously. The right day will come when we feel like we can put our relationship on paper. So apparently putting the relationship on paper is more binding and official than having a kid together? I don't know. Regarding who she is outside of her dad, brother, ex-boyfriend, baby daddy, or Max, she studied international relationships in New York, and she's been working in fashion, modeling, and working as a stylist assistant and all sorts of different roles. To be very fair, she probably doesn't need to work whatsoever because her dad is an F1 world champion and her mom is a Dutch model. She just kind of does what the kids of rich people do. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and there she is. What I did really, really like is that I don't know why she was asking an interview about centering Max's career in her life, and she said that she does not do that, she will support him, but she shouldn't be pressured or expected to be at every single race just because he's an F1 driver. She said, and I quote, "Would you normally bring your girlfriend or partner to the office?" Which, fair enough, and maybe people should take notes and stop making assumptions. Again, on a more controversial note, her dad was actually banned from the F1 paddock, despite the fact that he's a 3-time world champion. And the reason is that apparently he was caught on video using racial slurs to refer to Lewis Hamilton, which is obviously not very nice. But once again, that is not her responsibility, that does not reflect her character, that she is one of the many men in her life that she keeps getting compared to or boxed together with. Moving to way less controversial figures, we're gonna go with the Lilies. Alex Albon's Lily and Oscar Piastri's Lily, starting with Alex Albon's. She's 25 years old, born in 1999, and she is a professional golfer from China. Her dad seems to be a loaded hotel and restaurant owner, and he introduced her to the sport when she was just 5, and after that they've been kind of moving around to help her career, which is really nice. First to Canada and then to San Diego, California. She's been golfing since she was 5, she's been training her entire life, and she ended up becoming a professional golfer in 2017. Ever since then, she's become quite a prominent figure in the golfing world and also the fashion world. Very challengers of her, except with golf. Now, what I do find really, really cute and really interesting about this relationship is that allegedly Lily first heard about Alex watching Drive to Survive back in 2019. Rumor has it she watched the show, thought he was cute, followed him on Instagram, and he followed her back, and the rest is history. Apparently, later on that year, they saw each other in person for the first time, and that was also allegedly the first time Alex attempted golfing. And starting that day, they started hanging out more and more until they started dating later that year, and I think they are adorable. Moving on to the other Lily, Oscar Piastri's Lily, she's 23 years old, born in 2001, same age as Oscar, and they are high school sweethearts, which is, again, very adorable. She is a British engineer student, and they have been dating since junior year in high school. It's all kind of giving American movie about England in the early 2000s. They met at a boarding school, which is where Lily was studying and where Oscar transferred when he first moved to Europe to pursue his career as an F1 driver. They've been dating ever since, and they keep it very private, even though not secret. And it's really cute. Oscar's basically said in interviews that they just want to have a normal life, and that's why she doesn't have an open Instagram and she doesn't do any content creation or influencing whatsoever. She's a student, and when they are not working and studying respectively, they have a very normal life. Oscar says, we play video games, we watch movies, we have food, we hang out. They don't have like a high profile celebrity sort of relationship. And exactly for that reason, a lot of people are really, really into her, to the point in which, despite the fact that nothing is known about her other than her name, how long she's been dating Oscar, and the fact that she's an engineering student, there's fan pages about her on Instagram, which seems a little bit counterproductive to their point of wanting to be normal, because they are people, indeed. But I do find it rather harmless. Like, there's no dark rumors about them. There's no stalking going on that I'm aware. People just like her outfits and they think she's pretty and cute. And she is pretty cute. Moving to something way less wholesome, we have again an ex-wag, Lance Stroll's ex-girlfriend, Marie-Lou. Marie-Lou is 26, born in 1998. She's from Canada, and she's again a model and content creator. We can see how often that job description comes with the WAG title. To be absolutely fair, there's not much that I could find about her as a person, but what I did find about their relationship is that they started dating December 2023, and they broke up sometime around maybe November 2024 or slightly earlier than that. So it was not a very long-lived relationship. They were together for less than a year. Anyway, the reason why people caught up on the fact that they are not together anymore is that he was found on Raya, the celebrity dating app, and there was a lot of allegations that he had been on Raya for the entirety of their relationship, which could imply cheating, or it could imply that it was never that serious or that it was an open relationship. We may never know. However, the cheating rumors persist even stronger when it comes to Marie-Lou's best friend. Quite spicy. Rumor has it that another potential reason why their relationship ended is that he cheated with one of Marie-Lou's best friends. Why do people think that? Again, it's all based on Instagram level proof. Marie-Lou often took her friend group to F1 races, Aston Martin related events and parties, and at some point she stopped following one of these girls, and everyone else in the squad stopped following that one girl, and that was enough for people to assume that Lance was cheating with her. Some people think they're dating. I just think that there's not nearly enough proof to pinpoint to any of this. Let's just say that Lance doesn't have the best reputation in terms of dating, just as much as he does not have the best reputation in terms of driving. Moving on to another WAG, we have Rebecca Donaldson, which is Carlos's girlfriend. She's 29, born in 1995. She's Scottish, and she has been working as a model since she was 17. I thought her story was quite cute. Her career started thanks to her mom, who signed her for this pageant, and afterwards she's been doing it more. She went on to win Face of 2011, which I think is a pageant, and then she competed in Top Model UK. I don't know if she won that or not. The article that I read about it kind of mentioned both things together and then just talked about her victory, so I don't know if it means she won everything or she just won one of them, but she's no stranger to the cameras. And the fact that Carlos potentially dated a TV personality is kind of funny. Other than modeling, during COVID-19, she started her own sportswear brand called mleux Activewear because she was kind of bored. And she kind of said that she never had a 9-to-5 and that was not her vibe, which is a very privileged mindset, which is not surprising whatsoever. But anyway, that is who she is. Now, regarding her relationship with Carlos, they were first seen together summer of 2023, which is also when Carlos broke up with his longtime partner of 7 years, Spanish journalist Isa Hernández. Actually, there is quite a lot of allegations that Carlos was two-timing them, or at least that he cheated on Isa with Rebecca. Apparently, season 2023, before the Australian race, he was seen with Isa, his girlfriend at the time. They were photographed together, kissing, being affectionate, and then he went to Australia, where he was seen being very loving with Rebecca. After this matter, Carlos and Isa were still seen together, and she was still liking his Instagram pictures all the way to the Miami races. So it's all speculation, but it seems to be cut and clear. Now, what I find really interesting about Rebecca is that before dating Carlos, her previous known or celebrity relationship was Scott Disick. Scott Disick from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. First of all, what? He's an old man known to date exclusively models in their very early 20s or in their late teens. And they were first seen together at the red carpet event for the premiere of The Kardashians season 2022 for Hulu. And apparently they broke up later on that year, didn't last very long, but it was in a way her biggest claim to fame before Carlos. Moving on to another pretty well-established WAG, we have Carmen, who is George Russell's girlfriend. Carmen is 26, born in 1998, same age as George, and they claim to have met in London through a mutual friend. All we know about Carmen is that she moved to London when she was 18, almost 10 years ago, and she works in finance. It's known that she attended university in London, where she graduated from business management and finance, and then later on she's been working on investor relationships. Other than that, now, based on all of this, she ended up writing a book that turned her into more of an infamous wag at this point. My Investing Journey and Learning, book that she sold allegedly for 39 euros, even though it's a 40-page book. And according to someone that reviewed it on Tumblr that claims to be a finance journalist, it's approximately a 2 out of 5 stars read, just 40 pages and only 10 pages of actual information. However, it's still information you could have found for free if you Google hard enough. So yeah, a lot of people consider that this was a cash grab, and Carmen is trying to capitalize on her new young women following related to her relationship with George, which is not a good look. In order to promote this book, she talked openly about how her family struggled during the 2008 economic recession, which led some people to speculate that maybe she was from a not very well-off family. However, just to, make it abundantly clear, when she talks about her family struggling, she doesn't mean they were on food stamps. It's probably more struggling in the businesses they own or investments they have being a little shakier in this time, or maybe very shaky. I don't know the level of shakiness. So yeah, despite what she might project, she comes from a pretty well-off family. Moving on to another pretty well-established wag, we have Flavie Barlet, Esteban Ocon's girlfriend. She was born in 2003 in France, so she's 22 years old, and she is an influencer, a pageant queen, and a med student. Apparently, she's known in the pageant cycles in France, winning like a very prestigious pageant called Miss Côte d'Azur in 2022. I don't know if that's the way it's pronounced. She was the 5th runner-up for Miss France in 2023. And yeah, that's all I know about her. Outside of her relationship with Esteban. Regarding her and Esteban, once again, we have one of these things in which, similarly to Carlos and Rebecca, they started being seen together summer of 2023, overlap or no overlap. This was around the same time that he ended his long-term, 5-year-long relationship with an Italian model called Elena Berry. Yeah, they were speculated to start dating during the summer of 2023. At this time, Esteban stopped following his ex-girlfriend on Instagram, and later on they confirmed the rumors when they showed up together to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the end of the season. And that's it, there's not much more. Now we're gonna end with a bang, which is Alonso and Hamilton. Starting with Alonso, he's now dating a Spanish reporter for F1, DASN, Melissa Jimenez. Melissa is 37 years old, born in 1987, and she's herself related to motorsports because her dad is chief engineering for Aprilia, which is a motorcycling team. She's always worked in the motorsports world. First in Italy, she was specifically focusing on motorbikes, then ended up moving to Spain to cover for MotoGP, and then eventually in 2022, I believe, it's when she moved on to F1, becoming the main voice of F1 in Spain, which was very likely the way she and Alonso met. Which is another one of the common gold threads in all of these relationships. An F1 driver and a woman that has a close relationship to racing in a way through her dad, brother, etc. There's not much information about the relationship. They have also started dating sometime in 2023. However, she's not new to the WAG world. She was first a WAG for the Spanish selection because she was married to Marc Bartra, who is a very famous Spanish footballer, and they had 3 kids together. Apparently, their relationship did not end up very well, and now she's dating Fernando Alonso, who is, I'm sorry to say, not as cute as her ex-husband. And that's it, there's really not much more to it. Now, I'm excited to end this video on a high note. Hamilton, as we all know, doesn't have a WAG. He's not had a WAG for a very, very long time, but I knew that he was pretty well known for the people that he dated around the years. So we're gonna do a dating history class for Lewis Hamilton. It's really hard to pinpoint what his type is because he's dated such a massive variety of women. His first long-term relationship was with a woman called Jodie Ma. They met in Cambridge University and they dated for 4 years throughout their degrees from 2003 to 2007, and then they broke up in amicable terms as he was becoming bigger and bigger in F1. Then we go to, I think, the person that we all connect Hamilton with in our mind, which is Nicole from the Pussycat Dolls. They dated for a very long time, on and off, from 2007 to 2015. And they were even engaged at some point, allegedly. Rumors of relationship started when they were seen together at the Monaco Grand Prix. And then later on, it was kind of confirmed because he was her date for the MTV Awards. Their relationship was so long and well established that they had to put out a statement explaining that they were really pained to break up and they had attempted everything and decided to like separate ways amicably. And there was that. They announced their breakup in 2015, and that's where we get into the Russian roulette of who the F is Lewis Hamilton dating. I'm gonna give you the list of the women he dated from 2015 to 2018. This may or may not be an accurate list. It is what I found online. He may have dated people that are not on this list, and maybe some people on this list weren't even someone he was dating, but rather a friend or someone he was kind of very casually seeing. Anyway, we're gonna get into it. 2015, Gigi Hadid. 2015, Rihanna. 2015, Kendall Jenner. 2016, Hailey Bieber. So, if this were to be the case, that's extreme homie hopping. 2016, Barbara Palvin. 2016, Rita Ora. 2016, Willie Harlow. 2017, Sofia Richie. And 2018, Nicki Minaj. Then there's a little bit of a empty space between 2018 and 2023 in which there's no reports of he could have potentially dated, if he dated anyone at all. For all we know, he could have 5 secret kids by now, and we wouldn't know a thing. But the next person he was connected to was Shakira. Back in 2023, Shakira and Hamilton were seen hanging out multiple times, and she even flew all the way to Barcelona, where she does not want to be. That's where her ex-husband lives, because she wanted to see him at the Spanish Grand Prix. However, later on she was asked by Rolling Stone magazine about this relationship, and she said that it was not a romantic relationship and that she had no time for men in her life. So again, who knows? After the Shakira dating allegations, we have a little bit of a blank again, and the newest, hottest tea indicates Sofia Vergara. Allegedly, they were seen on a lunch date, and some people say they were really taken with each other and they are kind of expecting a confirmation of this relationship, while other people said it wasn't really a date and they were there at a restaurant with a bunch of friends. So I don't think we should be expecting a confirmation of this relationship anytime soon. And that's all. We did it. You may be wondering, there's a few names that have not been discussed, being Isaac Hadjar and Yuki Tsunoda. And the reason why we haven't discussed it is that there's literally zero information. There's nada. Nothing. Well, Isaac is quite young, so it's not that surprising. But regarding Yuki, as I said, he could be married with multiple kids and we would not know a single thing. I think it's safe to assume Yuki has probably dated people in the time that he's been in F1, but everything's being kept very low-key, very private. And that's it, my friends. That is the entirety of the grid, and their dating history, and their wags, and their dramas, and ex-girlfriends, and new girlfriends, and wives and ex-wives. That was pretty fun to research, to be honest. If you have a favorite wag, please let me know why. If there's any tea that I've missed for whatever reason, please share with the class. And other than that, consider this my official comeback. I will be posting a video every week, like a clock. So like, subscribe, and see you again next week.